Before I begin, I would just like to extend a brief invitation. Our foundation is creating a documentary on motherhood while we're here, and if any of you feel like you have wonderful information that would be pertinent to our documentary on the revaluing of motherhood throughout the world, we would love you to talk to me for just a minute after this is over so that we can set up an appointment for an interview. Thank you. My address is called Mothers of the Earth Arise. Mothers of the Earth Arise and take on your glory, your brilliance, your light, that all mankind may see your nobility and worth to all the world. For mothers are the bringers and the keepers and the shapers of the world, that evermore in love the glory of mankind belongs to you, for you bring the future. You shape the nations of the world, and you keep the flames alight in hearts now bright by your goodness and your love. These are the blessings of the mothers of mankind. These are the keys to the generations for all time. Mothers light the world by their temperance and love. They bring the moral character alive, and by their gifts and crafting of a life, the entire world is better by their love. For mothers embody the meaning of all life, the love, the goodness of mankind, and pass it on to generations by their care, and thus the whole wide world goes on in perpetuity and love. But for the mothers of the earth, the generations of mankind would all be lost. For motherhood provides the fiber upon which the fabric of humanity is woven for mankind. And by her hand and tender care does the world go on in greatness for all time. For all history points back to the loving hand of woman when great deeds are claimed in the public square. For behind the driving force of man is the gentle art of motherhood, which ignites a soul, brings a life into being, and prepares that life for the greatness it will be. Without mothers, the whole world goes awry, and the coldness of mankind snuffs out the ember of all life, and cataclysmic are the end results thereof. For without a mother's gentle, guiding hand, there is no peace, there is no love, there is no tender, gentle care that rocks the cradle there. And from that loss, the life once bold goes on hollow and quite mute. But with a mother there, the greatness of that life emblazons on the world the greatest work that man can ever claim. For it is her inspiration and her power to light that life ablaze that shapes and spurs the world on to greatness. For great or small, her significance is felt, and the whole wide world bemoans her loss when she is taken from her role. The time has come to say, arise, fair mothers of the earth, and lend yourselves to the nobility of mankind, for all the world awaits the greatness of your hand, that all may be benefited thereby. For when a mother shapes a life by tender loving care, it is forever changed from what it would have been to what it now shall be. For the grace of mothers permeates a life and lifts and inculcates the soul with sparks of greatness, and the vision regarding what could be with proper channeling and strength, and the whole wide world is a better place because of a mother's care. The human calamity of social outrage can be turned around by respecting and honoring and supporting the role of mother in her sphere. For she has a work to do in the lives entrusted to her care, and evermore this work must go on. uninterrupted and valued for the good that it does all mankind. For mothers drive the moral capital of the nations and the moral turpitude of man, and share with all mankind a nobler, gentler way that strengthens the nations of the world. For when mothers are respected and revered, every form of social structure is better. For mankind is shaped in ways humane and productive for the good of her investment in the lives. And beyond compare, the moral force is a tide for good when the mothers are allowed to perform their role. Mothers bring the human capital to bear upon the nations where she lives, for it is by her work in the rearing of the lives that she provides the future of the working structure of the world. Mothers provide the artistic capital of every society at large, for it is through the mother's eyes that a child first regards the beauty of the world and comes to appreciate the grandeur, the scope, and the delicate creation of all life. For it is her impression of the good, the altruistic, the sublime, that imprints itself upon the young child's soul. And from there, the gifts and talents of the child create the world, more beautiful by far than anything that man imagined ere before. For the mother left her gracious mark upon that life, and evermore mankind is edified and uplifted by her gift. To see its nation strong, we must see the mothers re-established in their place and allow the freedom they deserve to raise their own children in full felicity, full of truth and light, secure in the fact that their mother is there and will be as long as she is needed for their good. Mothers' roles must not be usurped for the nations to go on in perpetuity and strength. For the crumbling nation can look back on the moment when it lost its role of mothers with a deep regret for all that has been lost. And swiftly must the forces move that restore that peace to give the love and form the lives and strengthen the nations and the world before all is lost. For this path of destruction leads to no good end. But with the mother firmly in her place, afraid of no usurpation, fully vested in her craft, the nations of the world come alive to light the world ablaze and bear for all time the mark of greatness by their deeds, because they honored mothers and their sacred, noble role, and bore her the deference she deserves by policies and practices that help her in her realm to develop cultures that go on in love and strength and beauty for all mankind. These are the tenets of all life, that, with mothers in their place, the work of life goes on, in fullness and in grandeur for the good of all mankind. For we are all connected in the family of man, and as such have a vested interest in our neighbor's good, and bound together in a common cause to see the mother's role protected and paid homage for the worth it is to the nations of the world, is all mankind better off. And the work and the substance of the nations will go on at a higher level than we can now imagine in our minds. For with mothers in their roles replaced, so she functions with her heart and soul, attending to the intricacies of life, shall the nations of the world go on in boldness for their sake, proud to hold their heads up high. For the reflection of a nation is only that of the mothers of their land. For as the mother goes, so goes the nation. In misery, disgrace, or nobility and greatness for the whole wide world to see. let us resolve this day to dedicate our time, our energies to protecting the mother's roles with policies and practices that provide for her freedom to protect the lives and bring the stature of the nations back to life with well-run homes and hearts alive, because she was there and allowed to care for her nation one child at a time, as it was always meant to be. Thank you.